The first comment is from Mr. Kickamon. Sorry if I butchered that name, mate. He's asking me, what's a Z? Well, a Z is a lot like a Z, except pronounced correctly. G'day guys, welcome back to another video. We're back in the shed today. It's fantastic to be in this little space. Still haven't sorted it out, so apologies for the echo because I'm in a giant tin can. We're doing a Q&A today, just shoot from the hip. My honest and immediate responses to your questions, so let's just dive straight in. The next comment is from Mr. Brown 86. Shed update. Sure mate, well, I'm in it at the moment. As you can see, there's a terrible echo, so I haven't made much progress inside at all really. I have put a fence on the side and a gate so people can't get around the sides, which is really nice. So that's the most recent update. I've got a quote on the electrics. It's gonna cost me about $5,000 to get power to the shed. Finding extra cash lying around is getting harder and harder. So things have really slowed down. And that's really where everything will snowball. Once the power's done, then I can get the rodent flashing for the base of the shed. I've also started to collect the items I need to seal the concrete floor. I'm just going with a concrete sealer because so many of you guys recommended to me to forget about epoxy. This is going to be my YouTube studio here at the back. I'll completely redo it. This is just temporary behind me, and in front at the entrance will be where I'll keep all my bikes, multiple bikes. That's where the shed's up to. If you got any suggestions on where I should be heading with the shed, chuck them down below. I'd love to know your thoughts. The next comment is from subscriber Big Joe 4020. Cheers for the support, mate. Saying, here's a question for you, Solid. If you had to buy a bike with your own hard-earned cash and only three choices you had were the Cove 450, the Royal Enfield 452 Himalayan, or the CF Moto MT 450, which one would it be and why? I love these hypothetical questions. I spend way too much of my day daydreaming scenarios like this. These are all brand new motorcycles from the manufacturers. So early adopters are no doubt going to come across some little niggles, perhaps some questionable design decisions, just little things that often plague a brand new motorcycle coming off the manufacturing lines. All of these bikes are fairly equal in that regard. What I will point out is experience-wise, building and getting a motorcycle off the production line, Cove is at a distinct disadvantage because they are a new manufacturer. On top of that, they're going to be suffering the most from the dealership networks, so you have to account for the back end. It also has to do with your geographical location. Here in Australia, Royal Enfield in my state has a bigger presence than CF Moto does, and they both have a bigger presence than Cove because Cove isn't here yet. So that factors into my decisions. Let's say it did though, it's still not on my list because there's too much overlap with my CRF 300L. I see it as an either or. They don't really go well next to each other because they both serve the same purpose. So I don't need two bikes that do very much the same thing. So the Cove is off the list. Royal Enfield's up next with the Himalayan 450. This would have more of a place in my garage because it skews slightly more to the adventure bike side of things than the Cove 450. But again, of the three, it's still in the middle ground between dirt and on-road. So there is quite a bit of overlap between it and my CRF 300L. And if I was to use it as an adventure bike, which of course it can be, for me personally, if I'm going to get an adventure bike, I want a two-cylinder to get the smoothness and the comfort and that better road touring. That to me is what an adventure bike is all about. Of the bunch, it would be the CF Moto 450 MT. There's tubeless spoke wheels, 270-degree crank motor, all the comforts of an adventure bike, parallel twins, so it'll be nice and smooth as well. So it'll be very nice as a commuter, adventure tourer, weekend warrior, fit quite nicely next to the 300L. The next comment is from David, and he's replying to my roundup video for the year talking about the best and most anticipated bikes. And he's saying so many new prospective bikes, spoilt for choice, what to choose, what to choose. One of everything, of course, mate. The next question is from Sebastian, and he's saying, hey mate, how you doing? What Acerbis handguards are you using, and were there any issues with fitment? These are called the X-Factory version. So the X-Factory handguards. Was there any problem with fitment? They aren't great if you've got fat bars. That's what I originally had. Luckily, I had some 7/8 bars of the same sweep. I use KX High Band Pro Tapers. But if you've got fat bars, they say that it fits the contoured bars of most handlebar manufacturers. At least for my Pro Tapers, that was not the case. On the 7/8 bars, there really weren't any issues with fitment. They fit up quite well. What I will point out is that the clutch lever doesn't quite fit in behind the metal bracket that the plastic is mounted to, the actual handguard itself. But it is a little niggle. If I had my time again, I'd probably go for Barkbusters, but given I've got a YouTube channel, I like to cycle through different manufacturers just to see what they're like. These are probably my least favorite functionality wise compared to the Barkbusters and the Highway dirt bike handguards, but aesthetically, I think these probably look the best. Hope that helps, mate, and cheers for the question. Chuck more comments down below and I'll try to get to them into the next video or reply to them directly. And as always, don't forget to stay shiny side up.